The team came across a 30-unit property in up-and-coming Midtown Phoenix. This property is near the Phoenix Country Club and is a short distance from Phoenix Children's Hospital, St. Joe's, and the VA Hospital. This area has become a desirable neighborhood for young professionals who work nearby and want to be close to the area's thriving restaurant scene and nightlife. But the property is generating well below market rents and will need an investment to bring it up to the standards of today's renters. The units are large but lack natural light and feel dated. The exteriors need a fresh look and better designed common areas. Our team is ready to transform this property into a highly sought after contemporary residence in the heart of Midtown Phoenix. So we're gonna go out and check out Venture at 12th Place. We got Haley, our designer, is ready. John picked this property. Now it's time to go see it. We can go check out the neighborhood and then go do our inspection.
Good, we're ready.
Let's do it. So we're driving down south on the 51, getting close to the Thomas exit for the property. That was one of the things that stood out to me on this property is the access to all the stuff downtown with light rail and also being so close to the 51. Then all the major hospitals, employment centers around this area.
You know, it's an interesting area. It's becoming much more of a young professional neighborhood. The Phoenix Country Club's a gorgeous area. It's gated, it's separate, but it kind of sets the standard for the neighborhood. And then having access to everything downtown. The 51 freeway is close. The I-17 is right across the way. The I-10 is just down the way. The airport's close.
The other big thing is not having to deal with the commute.
We're on Thomas, heading west. Left-hand side of us is a lot of apartment buildings that have been renovated.
Yeah, and multi-million-dollar homes.
This is the kind of stuff we're seeing pop up now. The housing supports the restaurants. Just
We've
works.
had so many good restaurants already. I'm like, oh, I love that place. Ooh, that's a good one too.
All right, so here we are, we're pulling into it. We found a property that we're going to call Venture on 12th Place. It's a 30-unit building, 2 stories, most of it, block construction, really solid building. 8 of the units are townhomes, so really nice big units. Everything's got access to the backyard. There are stacked 2-bedroom units that don't have backyards. And then there's a 4-plex on the north side of the property. And then there's a building next to the pool, which has got 2 units in it. Covered parking in fantastic locations. The buildings are kind of vanilla looking. We're gonna do something to add some dimension to it. The covered parking looks good, but the interiors are dated. And we're gonna add the washer dryers to the units that already have the hookups in there. We're gonna look at a lot of different ways to fix the kitchens up. Really good building, great price point. This property, we're buying it at a price that makes sense with the kind of rents we can get.
So we're here at the Taco Guild. This is about half a mile from our property, right on the corner of Osborne and 7th Street. So this building was built in 1893, before Arizona was even a state, as a Methodist church. And then in 2012, they deconsecrated it and sold to a private investor, and they turned it into a restaurant. And one of the interesting things is the bar area is where the altar used to be. So,
And then the beautiful stained glass.
So wanted to kick off, now that we've cooled down a little bit from 110 degrees outside, walking around for our inspection. What are your first thoughts? And maybe we start with kind of the exteriors of the building.
There's not a whole lot of like architectural elements to it, so definitely want to enhance that, maybe add in some new cool features. And then in the courtyards, adding in some new landscaping, some greenery will definitely put some more pops in there.
Yeah, right now you can tell that people living there want to use that space, but there's not a great place to go right now. I think that would be a big value add to the people who live there. So we have 30 units here, 28 are 2-bedroom. So they're big units. That was one of the things that stood out to me, is they're great spaces.
There's so many opportunities in these units, between adding more light, taking advantage of areas underneath the staircases like we're talking about.
Some of the big things, so new appliances, new kitchens, new flooring, updated bathrooms. And so it's a perfect opportunity for us to add those amenities and to bring more people who want to live in this area. We are here a week later, and Haley, I'm excited to talk to you and find out what you're thinking as far as the design.
On the fronts of the building, we're going to be adding on a wood siding panel, some kind of shiplap, tongue and groove on the exterior kind of corners, and then the building overall is going to be a bright white. The biggest change is going to be those shade sails that we're hanging down the middle of the building. And then we're going to be adding in some string lights between the buildings, really brighten up those courtyards. And then we're getting rid of the raw gravel in the landscape areas, and we're throwing in some turf and some pavers. We're going with a classic contemporary look inside of these units, and we're going to be using a really neutral palette with some nice blues and grays and neutral beiges and some browns in there. Just going to keep it really bright and white, and we're throwing in a nice little pop of color in the backsplash.
I think the styles you've picked out are going to really hit it beyond point. Now that we've done all our work around 12th Place, we're really excited about what this project will mean for us and for all of our investors. Our design team has gone out and come up with a great plan. Our construction team is ready and has our budget put together, and we're really excited to bring this project to you, our investors. And I want to go over a few of the financials of this project. The rent being generated at the property is currently well below the market. Currently, the average rent per unit is $885 per month, but the market rent in the neighborhood is $1,250 per month. Once we've completed the renovation, we expect the average rent to be $1,730 per month per unit. We're purchasing the property for $222,000 per unit, and then we plan to spend $45,000 per unit to renovate it. So our total cost would be $267,000 per unit. Based on what we expect the rents that the property will generate, we expect to sell the property for $345,000 per unit. We're really excited to bring this offering to you, our investors, and we believe this is going to be another great ventures project. We hope you'll support us, invest in this project, and watch the progress as the team goes to work over the next several months.